So I'm finally making my ichigo video, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would know that my bleach scaling is often a point of contention on my page. And a lot of people seem to think that I hate this nigga Ichigo, which isn't surprising considering how much I shit on the Bleach series as a whole. And I even had this sort of Bleach slander arc on my page that lasted for a cool minute. But in terms of personality, Ichigo is actually my favorite Big 3 protag, and if you've seen my power systems post, you would know that the Bleach power system, and specifically Zanpakuto's, is one of my favorite power systems of all time. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't hate this nigga Strawberry Kurosaki or the Bleach series, and I'm not gonna do some weird bias shit. I'm going to scale these niggas as objectively as I possibly can. So with that being said, cue the So, similarly to Naruto, Planetary Bleach is often a point of contention within the series, with major power scaling channels like Death Battle often arguing against it. But nonetheless, these characters are bare minimum planetary, as numerous non-god tier characters have the feats, statements, and lore to place them at these levels of power while not even exhibiting their full strength. For example, Ewok being able to casually lift the Quincy country of Wandenrake has been calculated requiring planetary amounts of energy, requiring anywhere from 233 exatons of force all the way up to 13 yotatons of force, which is moon level plus through large planetary. Ichigo's Vasto Lorde form is also stated planetary during the Hellverse movie, which is canon and consistent with the rest of his Vasto Lorde scaling, his Vasto Lorde form being able to blow a hole through every layer of hell. These layers of hell, by default, would have to be planetary in size, as they were made with the purpose of housing trillions of souls, and of course would have to have a size capable of accommodating such a vast population. And of course, people like Clyde the Weeaboo can get the Vasto Lorde to large planetary off sheer multipliers. Cue that clip.
Is comparable to Texas, Thailand, and even a percentage of, say, Australia, which is a conclusion most reach, whether it's the scaling of Screw Attack, or even back when Seth and I rushed out Madara vs. Aizen video within the span of 3 days, or just, goofy power scaling forums here and there all over the internet. They all come to a similar answer. So if we use Texas and Ukiura is 1,000 times his base in his second release, he could easily destroy an area of 695 million squared kilometers. This is a very layman way to do it, but it works. Now, Vasto Lorde Ichigo absolutely stumps this second release Ukiura, and thanks to Seth's research, we found out that the Vasto Lorde has to be at least 10 times stronger than Ukiura, because Ukiura can counter one of its normal Ceros, which Seto Oscuras. This is the only reason Ukiura even had a chance in the fight, because the data books directly state that Seto Oscuras increases its attack by an order of magnitude, orders of magnitude in physics and so forth being an order of 10. Therefore, it'd have to be at least 10 times greater than its normal power. This is consistent considering Granrei Sero, which is stated to be several times greater, several being times 3, and Ukiura introduces his Lanzador Relampago and Seto Oscuras as if they are more impressive. In conclusion, the Vasto Lorde can easily destroy an area 10 times that of the Ukiura Calc, which would be 6,900,000,000 squared kilometers. This also isn't even his max strength, because the Vasto Lorde wasn't even at full power when he fought Ukiura, didn't use its own Granrei Sero, and it was easily able to crush and negate the Lanzador Relampago, which Ukiura decides to use after his Seto Oscuras, release Zeros, and Black Zeros fail, meaning it's obviously a stronger technique, as I said before.
And of course, there are other planetary arguments as well. Shikai Ichigo has a spiritual pressure so powerful he can affect the entire world simply by flexing it. And this is one of Ichigo's weakest forms, so of course planetary is a bare minimum, is acceptable, with characters having way better feats than this anyway. For example, Fullbring Ichigo was capable of destroying Yukio's pocket dimension simply by powering up into his Bankai state. Yukio's pocket dimension being depicted with a star and a moon, the inside of Las Noches is more than likely a pocket dimension created by base Aizen, and even it's depicted with a star. So arguing planetary bleach at this point is some weird caveman logic, because there's much better feats than this anyway. So let's move on into the actual scaling. So according to Ewok's own claims, Ichigo should be relative to him in strength, as Ewok refers to Ichigo's power as magnificent and states that there's no room for error when fighting him. And Ewok even resorts to using the Almighty when he didn't want to, as it makes every fight predictable and boring, and he wanted to enjoy his battle with Ichigo. And Ichigo would later go on to bisect Ewok on 2 separate occasions. So yeah, they'd have to be pretty fucking relative in strength for Ichigo to literally be cutting the nigga in half. And I think Kubo makes this pretty fucking apparent throughout the Bleach series. Ewok being an entity capable of destroying and fusing together the 3 worlds of Waco Mundo, Soul Society, and World of the Living. And before I move on, allow me to clear up some things about the composition of these 3 worlds. Because these 3 realms are often referred to as worlds, most people jump to the conclusion that the Soul Society, Waco Mundo, and World of the Living are all only planets. And this couldn't be farther from the truth, as the term world has multiple definitions and interpretations, and one of these interpretations of the term world being universe. And the term universe more so fits the description of these 3 worlds than planet does, as these realms are far vaster than any planet could ever be. The Soul Society being a construct which is apparently stated to be composed of an innumerable number of stars within the untranslated scans, and Muken, an infinite void of nothingness, exists within the Soul Society. The World of the Living, the Soul Society's parallel, is also stated infinite by Ichigo, and Waco Mundo, although never stated parallel to World of the Living or the Soul Society, it is stated endless in a guide, and this is often a point of contention among Bleach scalers, as the term endless can just mean appearing to be endless and not actually being of that size. But for now, I'll give the benefit of the doubt and just take these statements to their utmost and say it's also infinite. So now that we've established the term world can refer to more than just the planets these battles take place on, how do we know the destruction of these 3 worlds actually refers to more than just the planets these battles actually, take place on? Well, because the Quincy's plan to destroy the 3 worlds is outright referred to as the destruction of the universe, and breaking the balance between souls is also referred to as the destruction of the universe, and I believe the Can't Fear Your Own World novel also supports the uni-meta. The only point of contention I can really find with the universal meta is that Yamamoto states he can destroy the Soul Society with a 15 million degree heat. This would obviously mean that the Soul Society would only make up a world and not the entire universe, unless you want to argue something like Yamamoto can burn through stars and galaxies with a 15 million degree heat. But there's obviously more examples supporting the uni-meta, so it's plausible that Kubo just uses the term Soul Society to mean both planet and universe interchangeably, similar to how America can be used to refer to the continent of North America and just the United States. Allow me to clear up one more point of contention within the Bleach uni-meta. This point of contention being how Ewok was going to destroy the 3 worlds. Many under the impression that Ewok was only capable of destroying these 3 realms via disrupting the balance between souls. But this isn't the case, as Ewok himself states he is capable of destroying the 3 worlds via his own power alone. And when he proceeds to do this, the process in which it's done looks nothing like the collapse of the 3 worlds, which was brought about when Ichigo inadvertently killed the Soul King, a being whose unconscious existence held together these 3 realms and kept the balance between souls in check. As we see a black mass of Ewok's own Reishi envelop the Serete, something that didn't happen when the Soul King died, and the balance between souls was broken. And just to further support my own argument, Ewok was going to destroy more than just the 3 worlds. He was actually going to destroy the Dangai as well, a plane of existence completely unaffected by the balance between the souls. So yeah, I think Kubo makes it pretty fucking apparent that Ewok was doing this via his own power, and not just setting into effect some chain reaction which was brought about by, disrupting the balance between souls. So now that we know Ewok was going to destroy 3 infinitely sized realms, what tier would this actually qualify for? Well, there's a bunch of ways you could lowball and highball this, as it's never stated whether or not Ewok was going to destroy more than just the matter within these 3 realms when not accounting for higher dimensions such as time. And if this is the case, even if he were to destroy an infinite number of these infinitely sized realms, he would only be high universal, which is still pretty fucking impressive. And if you do think he was going to destroy more than just the matter within these realms, aka these realms' time spaces, then this would be a low multiversal feat, being 3 times greater than regular uni. And I personally think the best gauge for his power is Uni Plus, as even if you don't think he was going to destroy more than just a matter within these three worlds, Ewoks would still arguably be 4D, being superior to both Dangai Ichigo and Hokyoku Aizen. And 4D existence, Dangai Ichigo and Hokyoku Aizen, is contentious as fuck because Aizen never actually states he's 4D, but instead just compares his Hokyoku evolution to dimensional transcendence. But even if you don't think these statements are enough to qualify for 4D, there are other statements such as Hokyoku evolution, Aizen having control over space and time that support this notion. Space-time being a 4D construct, and obviously to control these constructs you must have 4D AP and be 4D. So he's high universal as a low ball, Uni Plus as a mid ball, and low multiversal as a high ball. Alright, just a little disclaimer before I end this video. I have no fucking clue how to say Ewok's name. It could be Juha, Jehovah, nigga. I don't know. Whatever you think his name is, that's the correct way, because I honestly don't know. His nigga name could be it could be that, and I still wouldn't know, alright? Because there's no anime version, and it's read YHWACH, right? Somehow that's pronounced Juha. I don't fucking know. I don't even know how that could be pronounced Jehovah. Nigga, what language is that, nigga? That's not Japanese. It better not be Japanese. Fuck. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Besides my shitty pronunciation of this nigga's name, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe or whatever. I don't really fucking know. Just cue the outro or something, man.